Sometimes if you like.
Okay, we'll bring this meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Encinitas City Council to discuss, in closed session, to discuss two items. First item is closed session conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation under the authority of Government Code 54956.9 D2, and the number of potential cases is 1. Circumstances would be Clark Avenue Apartments, and that's case number multi 004609-2021. The second closed session item is conference with legal counsel, threat of litigation under the authority of Government Code 54956.9 D2 also, and that is also one potential case. And the circumstances are the City Council emergency action item number 7 on August 20th, 2025, and it's demand cure letter from J. Garvin Walsh.
And the mayor, if we could do a roll call real quick?
Yep, sorry I skipped
That's
roll
okay.
call, didn't I?
Councilmember San Antonio,
Present.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Councilmember O'Hara,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Lyons. Here. And Mayor Ehlers.
Here.
Record will show all members of the city council are present, and we do have public speakers.
Okay, so we'll take public speakers.
Let's see, the first three, Robin Sales, Garvin Walsh, and then Audrey Critchlow.
Can I start? Hi. I'm only going to speak on item 2, but it's very brief. I just wanted to say that there are people in this community who are spreading rumors about the participation in the August 20th meeting. You know, I was here. I've lived in my house in Encinitas for 38 years, so I guess that qualifies me as not an outside agitator. I served on the Encinitas Equity Committee when it was formed in whatever year that was, 21, I think. Served on that, and also served on the Public Health and Public Safety Commission, and you have to be a resident of Encinitas to be part of these communities. So I really resent that there are people in the community who are saying that we don't have a stake in our own community. So I just wanted you to know that. I also wanted to let you know, just as an aside, that I'm a e-biker and a driver, and you guys really need to pay attention to safe routes for all of us who use cars and e-bikes. Thank you.
Garvin Walsh, Audrey Critchlow, Ruth Johnson, and then Jeremy Ross.
Good morning. I'm here to speak about item number 2, which I'm the author of the letter. First, I'd like to say that I hope you'll recognize this as, in the same way I did, as an opportunity to learn from the experience that you all had and the community had on August 20th. I think also I'd like to make the point that, particularly with regard to Joy, that there's nothing personal behind this, but when you throw up a softball, I'm going to take a swing at it, okay? So there's a couple of points to be made. One, I hope it's not controversial. The obligation to give public notice on meeting agendas should be widely understood. I'm sure you appreciate that. 2, you didn't do that in this case. 3, the grounds for making an exception weren't present. That meeting was peppered with repeated use of the term emergency. It doesn't apply. It's not an emergency. It's not an emergency according to municipal code, and it's not an emergency according to state law. So it's not an emergency. The exception for immediate need required a finding that there was a need to take immediate action. You didn't make that finding. Joy didn't offer that as a proposal. Her so-called findings were conjecture and opinion about the nature of the ICE activity. And the actions taken there was no immediacy to them whatsoever. None of this stuff required action that night. And the point should be very clear, your failure to agendize this event meant that you didn't have the entire voice of the community. So, this needs to be a do-over. I'd also point out that the only counsel I see sitting in this room is Mr. Preziosi. As the letter points out, he is implicated in this matter because of his failure to give competent advice. And if that finding were to be made, it would be contrary to his reputational interests. That implicates Rule 1.7 of the Rules of Professional Conduct, which requires him to recuse himself in any case in which he has a conflict of interest, including his own interest. So if his reputation isn't regarded as his own interest, then I don't know what would be. There's no reason you have to act today on the basis of whatever advice you get from him in closed session. You could postpone this event, solicit advice from another attorney, and deal with it appropriately at another meeting. Thank you.
Audrey Critchlow, followed by Ruth Johnson, and then Jeremy Rouse.
Hi, my name is Audrey Critchlow, and I've been a resident of Encinitas for the past 32 years. I'm recently retired from Encinitas Union School District. I worked there for 37 years, and I just wanted to make the point that the community came together very quickly, and they did feel a need to express their concern and in outrage due to what had just happened. And so it was something that came together in a very quick manner. And I just want to say I was actually really proud of the way the whole meeting went, because I felt like you listened and you heard the community. They were speaking loud and clear and from the heart. And so I personally was, I walked away from the meeting feeling very proud of all of you. So I just wanted to make that point.
Hello, I'm Ruth Johnson, and I've also lived in Encinitas for 45 years, retired teacher, and I could just say ditto to what everybody said. It was an amazing night, and I appreciated the results of the evening and the support for the people for what the children went through, for what the parents went through, and just the community. So they need the support. It was everybody here that night that I knew, which was probably at least half the people, have lived here. So I guess social media said something about people being paid. We weren't paid. So thank you.
Good morning, City Council and staff. Thank you for having me. Please let the record show that I, too, am local to Encinitas. I have lived in coastal North County, San Diego, for almost all of the last 20 years. That I am not being paid to be here today, nor ever being paid to fight for our children's safety. And that I will not allow partisan politics to get in the way of protecting our children nor our schools. When Mayor Ehlers and I were having a casual conversation the other day about how much we care about this community, he quoted President Lyndon Baines Johnson to me. That quote was, if one morning I walked on top of the water across the Potomac River, the headline that afternoon would read, "President Can't Swim." The way we communicate facts and the way we frame stories certainly does matter. This is a time for facts in their simplest form. I share this with you all because it made me think of a quote from LBJ that is profoundly relevant to this moment. Every child must be encouraged to get as much education as they have the ability to take. We want this not only for their sake, but for the future of our nation's sake. Nothing matters more to the future of our country, not our military preparedness, for armed might is worthless if we lack the brain power to build world peace. Not our productive economy, for we cannot sustain growth without trained manpower. Not our democratic system of government, for freedom is fragile if our people are ignorant. It is our moral imperative, regardless of our views on immigration itself, to keep our children safe, to keep our schools and the routes to and from our schools safe and supportive. Back on the 20th, there was an imminent threat to public safety, to our families, to our children, to our community, and you responded. You did not fail, but you succeeded, and I am proud of you for doing that. I remember from his letter to SDUHSD on the 29th of September 2022 that Garvin Walsh, who is an elected member of the Republican Central Committee, is a fierce fighter for the promotion of trust and integrity in educational settings. I'm here today to remind Mr. Walsh of those profound words of his as he now seeks to denigrate the promotion of trust in and integrity of this council that thoughtfully responded to the emergency need to protect our children and our schools and our city with a resounding vote of 5-0 on the 20th of August. We Encinitans, council members, all of us, felt that there was an imminent threat to public health and safety because of the federal enforcement action earlier that day in front of our children on their way to their elementary school. Why is Mr. Walsh afraid of this council talking about these critical issues of safety to protect our children? Is he for our children's safety or against it? Who is he trying to censor? Dictate what you, our elected officials, can discuss during your official meeting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing right by my children and yours.
Okay.
That concludes public comments.
Okay, and with that, we will adjourn into closed session.
And you will report out after the closed session in here in the council chambers.